All right. So the investigation continues. It seems that turns out Lance escaped, but Lang kicked us out of the crime scene again. But not before Lance dropped one hint, is that one of the kidnappers was a woman. So maybe could that be who we're looking for? Looks like we got the boot again. With Lance safe, the focus of the investigation will shift solely onto the murder. You mean the infighting between the kidnappers? Yes, and also the identity of the remaining kidnapper. Miles, my boy! You two. Tell me it's true. Tell me you've really found my boy! Yes, Mr. Romano, we found him earlier in the stadium. Then my little Lance is unhurt. He's not exactly the picture of perfect health, but his life is not in danger. He's being questioned right now by Agent Lang. Poor Lance, it must have been so horrible for him. Locked up like a... Miles, my boy, I can't thank you enough. It was nothing. I'm still in shock over what happened to Oliver. But I have to say, I'm relieved that Lance is alright. Oh, that's right. I mustn't forget to pass this on to Lance as soon as the police are finished with him. A letter? Ah, the way Lance is being chased after by women reminds me of someone I know. I almost can't believe he received yet another love letter, you know. Here, take a look for yourself. Isn't this a breach of confidentiality? It's a very simple love letter. Tender lender. Another reference to a previous case. Oh, hey, let me see. Huh, that's really weird. Wait, your beloved Viola? Yeah, and those... I was gonna say, the way this letter is written makes it come off as very yandere-ish. It's from a loan company, Tender Lender. Looks more like a collection bill to me. Is it the same Viola from Ace Attorney 3? Is she our killer then? Loves me, he loves me not. He loves me, he loves me not. Oh, that's the 12th one. No, you can't give up, Lauren. Just one more try. Excuse me, but I can't help but feel sorry for all the flowers you've gone through. I suppose, if they were me, then... I believe you said that you were Lance's girlfriend when we first met, correct? Yes, I am, but... Oh, it's not like we both think of each other as lovers. But he did give me this ring, so I guess we're not just friends either. I mean, because this isn't just any ordinary ring. It tastes so sweet when you lick it. Ah, it's wonderful. Okay, I think somebody might have got the wrong impression. You mean to tell me he gave you a lollipop ring? So which is it? Have you guys not decided if you're going out, or is it just one-sided? Decided. shouldn't the parties involved naturally just know? My father used to work for Mr. Amano. And so Lance and I grew up together. I said it out loud! I don't see how that's anything to be embarrassed about. So your father was an employee of the Amano Group. What did he do? I heard his job was to fly around the world. On Pegasus. Pegasus? Oh, Pegasus was the name of the airplane. The airplane belonged to the company. You had me there for a second. But now it's all changed. My father, he isn't around anymore. Oh, I see. About 10 years ago, he rode in Pegasus off to somewhere and never returned. Riding Pegasus to whereabouts unknown. Sounds like the stuff legends are made of. It's been so long. I don't think I'd recognize him if we were to ever meet again. I'm so sorry, Lauren. I wonder if that's gonna play a key role here. But I won't give in to the sadness. I have to live. Yes, Lauren, live! About this incident. Incident? But isn't the kidnapping already over and dealt with? I've been here the whole time, so I'm afraid I don't know much about any other incident. How did you come to know that Lance had been kidnapped? Oh, that's because of my whim's intuition. You based everything on that. I know everything when it comes to my Lance. It's really strange. It really must be destiny. She started fantasizing again. So what are you gonna do now, Mr. Edgeworth? We already established there's a good chance that the killer is the other kidnapper. It's my duty to figure out who this other person is. I believe there's one location that might hold a clue or two. The obvious location is the kidnapper's hideout. But we're still not allowed in, remember? Agent Lang and his men should be done with this area. In that case, there's no harm in asking that officer over there to let us in. What do you have to report? Sir, nothing unusual or out of the ordinary, sir. Where have I heard such redundancy before? Is it possible for you to let us take a look around inside? Sir, roger, sir. That was surprisingly hassle-free. Are you certain? Didn't Agent Lang order you not to allow me in? Sir, that's true, sir, but... Detective Gumshoe asked me personally to let you in, sir. And I couldn't refuse a request from him. Wow, looks like Detective Gumshoe has a following. Furthermore, I was asked to give this document to you, sir. What's this? Oh. Colin Deveray. That's... the man in this picture. Isn't this Mr. Oliver Deacon? Whereabouts unknown after his escape from Pen E. Dent prison. Stole a gun from a guard during his escape. We thought he might head for where his wife and sole daughter are, but despite our surveillance, he has yet to show up. Sounding like Oliver Deacon was an alias. But the name here says Colin Deveray. That's the same name as the one on the back of the pendant. It appears that Colin Deveray was his real name. What's this? He was convicted in a case 10 years ago and sent to prison. What? Then what was he doing here? Apparently he broke out of jail and then just vanished. He must have become Oliver Deacon to cover up the fact that he was an escaped felon. Now I'm not sure what's going on anymore. Is there some sort of link between the victim's past and this current case? These police documents are rather detailed. I should take the time to give them a thorough read eventually. It's fine, let's focus on one thing at a time, starting with the kidnapper's hideout. Yeah, I agree. We should investigate first, think later. More than thinking things through, I think you should try remembering things first. Now then, if you could please unlock the door, officer. It was locked up until a little while ago, but since then, the door's been wide open, sir. I'm not sure I follow what it is you're saying. Care to explain in a bit more detail? Sir, the door was locked down tight when they went in to check the room. So they got about 10 officers to help out and break the door down, sir. I see. I guess that means I get Agent Lang's leftovers. Well, let's see what we find. So this is where the kidnappers planned their foul deed. Well, you were tied up for a while in the room next door. Okay, please, must you bring that up again? Now then, down to business. There might still be some clues left in this room. Let's try to find out what we can of the other kidnapper's identity. Unused folding chairs lean against the wall in their folded state. Wow, whoever lined these up did it perfectly. They're not even a single hair off. I feel bad using these because it would be like stealing the perfection away. And I suspect it's more like you wouldn't want to be the one to put them away. Watch out, Mr. Edgeworth! It's a broken mirror. It probably came from the haunted house. Why is this here? Are they planning to repair it? A sign advertising the photo rally. Something I have absolutely no interest in. Yeah, but I do, and I'm gonna get my hands on the rest of the Badger family. You'll see. She definitely brings a decidedly different atmosphere to a criminal investigation. Okay, what about that? I see that key back there. I wonder what this key is to. You got me. Reminds me of the key we found in the other room. That's it. This must be the key for one of those trapdoors. That wasn't a trapdoor. You only called it one because you quite literally jumped into it. Hey, but isn't that what you're supposed to do when you see one? I am not having this conversation with you. Cheap styrofoam cups. Looks like only 3 cups were used. Coffee looks like it was poured today. So were there 3 people here? I guess the kidnappers and Lance. They must have given him some coffee. Or is it possible? I kind of ran this scenario through my head too. What if Lance was in on it as well? He's just playing the victim here. Something to keep in mind, I think. Folding chairs, and by the looks of it, they were probably used by the kidnappers. There are 3 chairs set around the table. door is thoroughly broken thanks to the police who forced it open. So it was locked from the inside when they tried to come in. That doorknob handle thingy was looking pretty beat up. I suppose that's what happens when 10 officers break their way in with brute force. Hey, that's odd. The lock on this is completely fine. Look, not a single dent. How is that possible after what that officer told us? Yeah, the lock had been in use when the door was busted down. Then the lock itself should be completely wrecked. Oh, I've seen this play out in a couple of the Danganronpa games where they had to. The killer made a scenario to make it look like the door was locked or forced open a different way. That made us come to a different conclusion. Looks like a sword. A broken sword. Strange. Why would it be broken like that? That must have been used to hold the door shut. And that was what was broken when they broke in here. Swords don't usually break on their own. That's true. Alright then, let's think about it in this way. Maybe it broke when someone was trying to use it for or on something. Hypotheticals aren't going to get us anywhere. Perhaps we should think more on this later. What's this? This must be where they dispose of old and worn-out costumes. That's so sad. It would seem that they throw the costumes away in pieces. And it looks like there's a costume in there right now. Let's see what we got so far. Okay. 3 folding chairs. The common denominator between the cups and folding chairs is the number 3. Speaking of which, the number of missing costumes is also 3. Wait, but I thought there were only 2 kidnappers. Indeed, something isn't adding up, literally. Is it possible there's a 3rd kidnapper that Lance didn't see? It's a bit strange that the police had to force their way into an unlocked room. One look at the pristine door lock and anyone can see that it was not in use at the time. But the policeman outside said that it took 10 men to get it open. A door that was locked tight despite it being not locked at all. It can only be because of this. Oh, you mean... Yes, it was used to jam the door. Here, take a look at the door handle. See how the handle's completely destroyed? So that's how the sword broke. thought that we might uncover the true identity of the kidnappers. But instead, we've only uncovered more questions that need to be answered. What the hell? Ah! God, those things are scary. What is it? Well, well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I correct? What are you doing, suddenly popping out of the secret entrance like that? This is an underground passage used by staff members, sir. We Badgers also make use of it in our duties. Look, why don't you get out of there first, and then we'll talk, okay? I beg your pardon, miss. Another Proto-Badger get. Alright, only one more to go. What are you getting all excited about? Did you forget? The photo rally, duh! See, look. Now all I have to do is get a picture of the Bad Badger and I'm done. Ah, yes. I vaguely recall a contest or something of that sort. What? It's gone, but... Wait. It's gone, but where'd it go? What happened? What's wrong? A Bad Badger costume's missing, sir. Oh, is that all? Well, it's missing because the kidnappers stole it. I heard about how they were stolen, but they said that only 3 of the costumes had been taken. Huh? What? Is he saying that more than 3 of them are gone? Mr. Proto-Badger, please tell me a little more about these costumes you use. What did you mean by a Bad Badger costume is missing? Why, just what I said, sir. We're 1 Bad Badger short. Counting the spares, we have 2 of each costume on hand at all time. Okay, so because one of them is walking around in the park, the other should be in that room. Actually, both of them should be in that room. Huh? What do you mean? Normally, we don't use the Bad Badger costumes. In fact, we only use them during a certain event at a set time each day. It's the stage show where the Bad Badger wreaks havoc around the park. And the other Badgers must work together to apprehend him, sir. I'm speechless that such a show exists. Well, sir, I was just trying to explain to you that the only time we use that costume, then doesn't that make it near impossible to take a picture of the Bad Badger? Personally, I can't believe that it's this close to showtime and there's no costume. Oh dear, what am I to do, sir? All this basically means is that the kidnappers stole 4 costumes in total. Then are you saying that there are 4 kidnappers? No, I don't think that's very likely. Oh? Recall the costumes for a minute. The stolen ones, you mean? What proves that a 4th kidnapper doesn't exist? Fact that if you had 4 people and you wanted to steal a 4th costume, wouldn't you naturally go for the full set and steal a Pink Badger costume instead? Yeah, that makes sense. And yet the kidnappers decided to steal another Bad Badger. I believe the culprits needed 2 Bad Badger costumes, but the question is why? Is that what's in the... Is that what's in the bin there? The second Bad Badger costume. I believe it may be closer at hand than we think. What do you mean? That costume in the trash. Wouldn't you say it's wearing some very telltale pants? Hey, you're right. Let's get it out there and take a look. As I suspected, it's a Bad Badger costume. Well, minus the head. There's also a very conspicuous hole in the hand here. Look, its hand is hurt. Looks more like something was ripped off of it. Yeah, because he's supposed to be holding a gun in that hand. Eureka! I believe what we have here is an inconsistency. Between what? Look carefully. Our costume's not holding something in its right hand that it should be. Oh, the gun! Precisely. The Bad Badger was designed to always hold a gun in his right hand. However... You there, did you remove the gun from this Bad Badger's right hand? No, I didn't, sir. The gun's supposed to be securely attached to the costume. As I thought, the rip itself confirms my hypothesis that the gun was forcibly removed. Mr. Proto-Badger, the gun is, of course, not a functioning weapon, correct? Absolutely not, sir. It's just a model gun. However, it can fire blanks. We need to use them for the stage show. It seems our kidnappers also had a need for the model gun, my dear costume friend. Did they replace the blanks with live ammo, then? I think we're about done with this room. So what's next? Well, we found a few answers, but there are still a few things left that we have to ask a certain person about. That's okay. Mr. Edgeworth, sir! You gotta hurry, sir! Come on! What is it, detective? They found a blue badger costume down in front of the main gate, sir! What? Isn't that what one of the kidnappers was wearing? Bingo! That's why you gotta come to the main gate with me right now! If we hurry, we still might be able to get there before Wolf Boy does, sir! Alright, let's make haste to the main gate. Alright, well that part of it was fairly brief, so... Hopefully we can get through this tonight. Where's the costume detective, Gumshoe? Just on the other side of the fountain, sir. What's that in the neck hole? Was it out here in the open all along? No, it was discovered in the tall grass back there. We moved it out here in order to examine it more thoroughly. Well, let's get down to it. Yeah, that immediately stands out. What do we have here? Another pendant. Oh, it's another pendant. 2 treasures in one day. How lucky is that? And hey, this pretty baby's made of platinum silver too. Another pendant on top of the one we found on Mr. Deacon? Is it possible that these two... Oh no. He's here. Isn't he? Yep. Hands off, Mr. Prosecutor! You sure know how to cross the line, don't you? Ugh. A pendant, huh? This is a very decisive piece of evidence. How can you tell? Look here and read off what you see. Lauren D. Lauren. Hey, it's a name that's engraved on this. So that... Aha! We have you now, Miss Kidnapper! No, you don't understand. Okay, is she... Okay, this. This mentioned his daughter. That he had... That... Deveray. Is that her real last name? And she mentioned that her father just disappeared one day. Wonder if this was him. Lolly, I can't believe you were one of my kidnappers. Lance. You're kidding. Ms. Pops was one of the kidnappers? Yes. It was me. I held Lance hostage. So Ms. Pops is one of the kidnappers. So did she kill the guy who ended up being her own father? Sheesh, that would be... But even knowing that, I can't call this case solved or over. Hey guys, case closed. Get the car ready, and I mean the special one for this young lady.
Hold it!
Again, Mr. Prosecutor? What is it this time? Are you proposing that Ms. Palps is also the culprit in the murder case? What happened? I thought Officer Meekins was your suspect. We found it. Found what? That officer's gun. He literally dropped it in the middle of a thick patch of grass. Your country's police are a sham. Just look how careless they are. Who are you calling a sham? The officer's gun didn't show signs of having been fired, so it can't be the murder weapon. So Officer Meekins has been cleared of all charges, I see. And that's when a brand new suspect comes walking onto the scene. The murder only happened because the kidnappers started fighting amongst themselves. As I recall, it was you who said that, right, Mr. Prosecutor? Ms. Palps, did you really kill Mr. Deacon? Yes, I killed him. This is a little too cut and dry, though. I can't believe it. Thanks for the confession.
Objection!
Agent Lang, it's much too early to declare this case closed. Yeah, unless she's confessing under duress. Look at you, so full of yourself. You've got the culprit's own confession and some very incriminating evidence. What more could you ask for? Miss Lauren Palps. Yes? I want to hear it from you. Tell me your side of all that's happened today, from the kidnapping to the murder. But why? I'm a kidnapper and the killer. Isn't that enough? Whoa. Why are you letting her have scissors? It's fine if you're the one behind everything, but only if that's the truth. Now then, will you tell us the truth? Or is there some reason why you can't? I've had a change of heart. I think I'd enjoy seeing you sulk away as the losing mutt. Alright, you heard me. Let's hear about all the evil deeds you've committed today. The one who came up with the kidnapping plan was the butler, Mr. Deacon. We knew that we could get rich by holding Lance hostage. Mr. Romano would pay anything to get his son back, after all. Everything was going all according to plan, but as soon as we got the money, Mr. Deacon turned on me and tried to kill me. There, you satisfied? She just confessed to her crimes a second time. At least you have the guts to admit what you've done. I can at least respect that much. Miss Palps, is what you said really the truth? Yes, it is. If that's the truth, it certainly isn't the whole truth. Because there's something that seems a bit too improbable in her confession. But as soon as we got the money... Okay, this we want to hear more about. Why do you think he did? I have no idea, but maybe he had planned on doing so from the very beginning. Ms. Palps. Wait, Mr. Deacon planned to kill Ms. Palps from the very beginning? Was that ever really likely to happen? Yeah, if... Should I raise an objection? Hell yeah, we do. I'm sorry, but I don't think what you just claimed is all that likely. Huh? I don't think Mr. Deacon would have ever been capable of killing you. His daughter. But why? We were total strangers. No. It's not uncommon for people to kill each other over money. Ms. Palps, you really are clueless, aren't you? What do you mean? You never knew what your role in the kidnapping was, nor do you know who you really are. But I do, and I can show you through this piece of evidence. Mr. Deacon would have been able to bring himself to kill Miss Palps.
Take that!
Why are you showing this to me? So what about the pendant? This pair of wings, along with this piece of evidence, shows who you really are. Oh, again, a horse. That makes sense. A horse and a pair of wings. Pegasus.
Take that!
These two pendants resemble each other, wouldn't you agree? Hey, you're right. They're the same color. They're even the same material. I believe these two pendants are actually one. Huh? Shall we give it a try? There we go. Wow, it's totally Pegasus. Yep. But why? Why does my pendant match up with Mr. Deacon's? You're a smart lady. I'm sure you can imagine why that might be. What? No, that can't be! So the two make a set? It's just another trinket. It's not as though this changes anything. You lack imagination, Agent Lang. Very well, I'll show you with this evidence. This is the piece of evidence that gives meaning to the Pegasus pendant.
Take that!
Oliver Deacon was just an alias for this man. His real name was Colin Deveray, the name that's etched in the horse pendant. What? An alias? I suppose he had to hide the fact he was a felon somehow in order to live. And it makes sense given what's written in Mr. Deveray's dossier. But what I really wanted to point out was this. This specific section is what reveals the true meaning behind those pendants. His sole daughter, right?
Take that!
Mr. Deveray had one daughter, and her name is Lauren Palps. That's a lie! That person was not my father! Although, he couldn't come out and tell you he was your father because he was in hiding. And by her own admission, she said that she probably wouldn't recognize him now. However, I believe he was trying to secretly watch over you. Do you still believe that a man like that could kill the daughter he was separated from? Or even that such a man would allow his daughter to get involved in a kidnapping plot?
Not go back!
And what's so funny, Agent Lang? You're good at making things up in your head and deciding it's the truth, aren't you? What are you trying to say? Your thinking is much too innocent. After all, I thought of another possibility. Is that so? Let's hear it. I'll grant you that the two of them are father and daughter. But isn't it possible that they both knew that fact? It was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the House of Amano. And the two of them made good use of their meetings to plan this little kidnapping. Wouldn't you say my scenario is perfectly probable as well? So this is his version of how things might have been. You don't have any proof that either one didn't know of the true relationship, right? You mean they knowingly committed the kidnapping as father and daughter? That's right. As one really rotten family. Is that really what happened? I'd better take a long, hard look at the evidence. Good idea. I don't know how or if that's ever going to come into play. Not sure if any of that is relevant right now. Okay. Where's this thing gonna go?
Hold it!
You think they knew? Yeah, I don't think that only the victim knew. I think the girl realized it as well. They both knew who the other person was, but they had to pretend that they didn't. Because he was on the lam. You got it. The victim couldn't exactly go around flaunting who he was. Furthermore, it was no coincidence that the reunited pair became involved in the house of Amano.
Hold it!
One is a butler and one is the friend of the son, you mean? They probably thought that was their best shot. Is that what you honestly believe? Of course. Could use their means to plan this.
Hold it!
You mean how they plotted to commit this crime as blood relatives? Can you think of a better partner? They're certainly a clever pair. The butler and the girlfriend. No one ever suspected they were in fact family. Yes, from the very beginning they painstakingly practiced these roles well.
Hold it!
I believe you're being a bit too overconfident for someone with no evidence. Am I? Because I don't see you presenting any evidence to the contrary. Without evidence to counter him, we're stuck at a draw. Agent Lang isn't wrong. His scenario is certainly a probable one. You better hurry up and do something or Lauren's gonna wind up looking really bad. I know, but first things first. Is Agent Lang's line of logic factually correct? Did the two of them really knowingly commit the crime as father and daughter? You say two, but we found evidence that there was a third person involved. This kidnapping wasn't planned by just two people alone. What kind of proof do you have of that? Quite simply, there were 3 kidnappers. 3? 4 costumes were stolen from the Wild West area's back room. We found one of them in the kidnapper's hideout. But as for the other 3, we can assume they were being worn by 3 different people. We We also found a set of 3 cups and 3 folding chairs that were used in the hideout. It all clearly points to a 3-man group. And I believe this third person is the real mastermind behind the kidnapping. Who? Who is this mastermind? I present to you the brains behind the kidnapping. Ooh. Are we gonna go with my hunch? Am I right about this?
Take that!
Lance Amano? Yes. This abduction was in fact schemed up by Lance himself. Recall what he said when he appeared before us. Did you see the faces of your kidnappers? No, I didn't see their faces, but two. One was a woman. Yeah, he said 2, didn't he? However, there were 3 kidnappers, which is in direct contradiction to what he said. But I know I only saw 2 people. This guy was being held hostage. It's possible he couldn't see all 3 of them. Ah, yes. About when you were being held. I have my doubts about what happened then. Lance, would you mind telling us what happened while you were being held captive? I really don't remember much anymore. Honest. But if I don't tell you at least something, you won't believe me at all, will you? Oh boy. I was kidnapped yesterday morning. They had me shut in that room, blindfolded the entire time. But the kidnappers suddenly disappeared around the time I heard rain falling outside. My hands were cuffed, but it was a stroke of luck that they left me alone. I made my escape and ran away from that room as fast as I could. Through the underground passageway, I presume. You okay? Sorry, I really didn't want to recall that horrible ordeal, but now you believe me, right? No, not quite yet. How can you not? Why do you look at me with icy daggers in your eyes? Because he's a prosecutor, and because they're all like that. I'll have you know, Agent Lang, a prosecutor's eyes are for discerning the truth. And should they be interrupted to be cruel at times, then so be it. There's a sticking point in Lance's testimony. Let's see what he offers up when I push a little.
Hold it!
By that room, you mean the room in the kidnapper's hideout, correct? Yes, but I was blindfolded the whole time, so I didn't know that until I made my escape. Then you were in the same room as your kidnappers. They spoke in hushed tones, but I could catch bits of their conversation. It was definitely 2 people, and one of them was definitely a woman. I was so scared. I could tell they were nearby, so I didn't dare make a move. Disappeared at the time I heard rain falling outside.
Hold it!
The kidnappers disappeared. The room fell into a sudden silence. I had been left behind like an unwanted mutt. What do you mean by unwanted mutt? What a pointless question. It's not like he's going to tell you anything new, you know. It's a poetic simile. You should learn how to use them too. You may look refined on the outside, but it's no good if you're not refined on the inside as well. Oh, you trying to talk sass to Edgy? It was a stroke of luck they left me alone.
Hold it!
Then those cuffs on your wrist. I suppose you're still cuffed in that case. I'm well aware of how I'm chained to reality. I couldn't find the key, so I'm afraid I'm stuck like this. Even though I escaped from that jail cell, I will forever be a prisoner. Oh, I like how he does the little peek when he has his face covered like that. He does a little peek through his fingers.
Hold it!
How did you manage to escape? I wanted to just get out of there, but the door leading outside was locked. Which is why I had to use the underground passageway to make my escape. Oh, we got him. I think we got him. I remember our escape to be equally as hard. This is an invaluable piece of testimony. I mustn't let it go unexamined. Nope. No, we discovered it was not.
Objection!
You say the door leading out was locked, but was it really? Oh, now... We're talking about that room behind the saloon front, right? Look, I heard it took quite a few men to get that thing open. Right, Sheena? Yes, that's correct. Then take a look at this. Okay, with this, I think this will be another good break spot, and so hopefully we can finish this on the next one.